Hi everyone. Okay, so it's been a long while since I've actually done a video. This is where my room is. My room is amazing. It's super amazing. And I cleaned up just for you guys. So that's the kitchen behind me. That's my little study area, work area, everything area. And my bed is just here. Look at me tidying up. I hang my clothes out as well because it gets a little bit wet here. And then behind me is my bathroom. You see it? Isn't it amazing? Okay, hold on, let me just open this. And then there's windows in the bathroom as well, which I think is amazing. Cool, right? I hang my earrings up there. My kitchen has a microwave, a fridge, a blender. The blender is amazing as well. And I'm going to turn this around so that you guys can see the outside. That's turning around. This is the outside of my place. It's just surrounded by trees and just beautiful. And the outside here is exactly the same. I put my stuff here. And that's the outside, which is super cool. I can sit out here if I want to, but I never do. And maybe I can see a little bit of the outside of the hill. Okay, so now that you've seen everything, I'm gonna sit with my cup of green tea and chat with you guys and give you the update on what's happening. Let's see, how am I going to prop this up? Give me a moment. Okay, so I think this is gonna be it. I wanted to get comfortable. There's a wall. I wanna try to hide it, but then you just see the kitchen. But you know what? This works. I got my green tea here. It's been a pretty long, 3 weeks, I think, for me. But I wanted to sort of give you an update because it's been so long and why I've taken this long to finally come back to what I feel is grounding. Yeah, so I wanted to take some time and just give everybody an update on how I am, where I am, how am I doing, my mental health, and so on and so forth. So right now I am in Sayulita, which is on the west coast of Mexico. It is pretty amazing on a good day. It is rainy season, so it does rain a lot, and I don't know if it's the sewer system or just it's just water everywhere, and it's quite hilly as well. So we're on the top of the hill, so it's really nice and quiet, which is the reason why I chose this place. Right down the hill, which is all of 5 minutes away, just down a bunch of steps, is the town itself. Now, why did I choose Sayulita? I chose it because, first off, it's in Mexico. You don't need that much to get here, really. Nothing. Actually, you don't need anything to get here. You don't need to have a COVID test. No one's asking for vaccinations, although I'm vaccinated. You don't have to be quarantined. I came with a one-way ticket. No one even asked for a return ticket either, so it's pretty easy to get to Mexico. But why I chose Sayulita was because I wanted to be by the sea. I wanted to be able to have access to the water so that I can swim if I want to, or just kind of just roam around in the pool by the beach, because it's been a very long time since I've done that. Very, very long time. And at the same time, I knew that I wanted to work, and so I needed really good Wi-Fi. Have I been working though? Barely. So I could have actually been anywhere at this point. But yeah, I guess because I spent 2 months working, that work really wasn't in my cards for 2 to 3 weeks until now, which is crazy. Yeah, so I needed good Wi-Fi, and I needed it to be international. I needed it to be safe, obviously, because so many people think that Mexico is really unsafe, and I'm sure there are many dangerous areas that are very unsafe. But I've been to Mexico before. I don't remember whether it was 2014 or 2015, and I backpacked through Cancun all the way to Mexico City, and I was fine. So it really depends on, I guess being street smart is probably the easiest. And I even have those videos on YouTube. So you can always scroll and see those videos when I was a lot younger and I had a little bit more hair, where I went to Mexico City. It's actually one of my most popular videos, like, is Mexico City dangerous? And I talk about how it really wasn't for me. And I was there for what, 2 to 3 weeks? Anywho, I decided to forget Mexico City. Been there, done that. Wanted to be somewhere a little bit more relaxing, and to have Wi-Fi and to work and still have like the, you know, play and work at the same time kind of thing. Wow, but it was really extreme. For 2 to 3 weeks, I felt like I went from one side of the pendulum to the other side on a daily basis. And so yesterday I had quite a bit of a breakdown, and I was just crying most of the day. It was bad. It was really bad. I had good intentions though. At first, like the first few days, I was relaxing and I was going to the beach and really exploring the town. And, I did some shopping for some more summer wear as well. Some new clothes that I get to see and try, and meeting new people as well, and trying out yoga classes, which I very quickly ended. I decided, forget it, I can't do yoga classes. And I'll tell you later in a minute. But yeah, so my first week was really just settling down, settling in. But at the same time, over that weekend, because I came 3 weeks ago, 3 Fridays ago, that Saturday, Sunday, there was a Hurricane Nora. It passed through. It didn't hit us at all, but it was raining all the whole time. And there was a leak in the ceiling because of that in this room. And even though I love this room, I had to move out for a while because of the leak. So I was in another room downstairs. It was a bigger space, but for some reason, the vibe in that room was not good, where the kitchen was separated from the room, the bedroom itself, but the kitchen was drier and the room was just damp and wet. And I was getting bitten all over the place, yeah. I was getting bitten by something. So I didn't feel like I settled down at all. I did stay in the room a lot, and I did a lot of reading and a lot of just chilling out, I guess. And whenever it wasn't raining, I was out. For 2 days, there was no electricity in the whole town of Sayulita. Which I guess everybody was freaking out, but for me it was like, yeah, great, I don't have to do any work for like 2 full days, great, and I don't have to talk to anybody, fantastic. I mean, it really shows how much I really am fine without people. But yeah, after that, then it started to stabilize and I would walk around and stuff. And I had this idea that I would go and visit all the cafes, like the hipster cafes, where I did some research and found that, it's a good working space to, when the electricity is on, the Wi-Fi is fine here. It's totally fine. So for a week, I think, every single day I was in a different cafe, and I was really disappointed at the coffee. I'm like, I don't know, it's not that tasty. And also the space itself. So the cafes, even though they were a good workspace, they're teeny tiny. So people were going in and out. It gets very noisy. There is a workspace, Selena, which is pretty internationally well known. So they've got like dorms and places to stay. I'm sure if anybody's watching this, you would know Selena. And they even have their workspace as well, which converts to a bar and a little party area in the evening. But throughout the day, it's noisy as well. It's like, how does anybody even get work done? And I attempted it for a while in different places as well, but I got nothing done. I mean, I got some emails done, hooray, but that's pretty much it. So that didn't last very long. And eventually when I finally, the next week, after the 1 week when they fixed up the ceiling, the roof, I could move back in here. I did, and then I settled down a little bit. And I started taking Spanish classes, which yesterday I quit. I mean, I paid $300 for it and stuff. I'm not going to get my money back, which is a shame, but I mean, I'm going to get material for it. I feel like that's going to be another video for another time, those Spanish classes. But I was taking it every day. Would have loved to have it 2 hours a day where like I was practicing, like especially like I'm okay with words and I'm okay with this present tense stuff, but I can't do past stuff. I don't know how to say things in past tense, and I can't say things in future tense. I studied Spanish in 2006, and there's a lot that I've forgotten. It's a lot that is like rusty in the back of my head, and I told this to the teacher, but for some reason, for the past 3 weeks, he refused to even touch on the past or the future, so I just ended up just speaking more in present, and I hated class every single day. You know, and I think, but I think also my mental health, like when I thought that I was over it, that's the thing, you know, because I'm no longer on the antidepressants, and I have been staying away from the Concerta because I just want to know what it's like to be just me. And I'm sure a lot of people with mental health issues just feel like, can we just get off the drugs for a while and just see what it's like just to be without drugs and just be ourselves? Because was it really that bad before? Maybe. I mean, it really showed me how unstructured I am, actually, that whole piece. But anyway, so every 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I would have these Spanish classes, and he'd give me like so much homework that I spend the rest of the day doing them or trying to do them, and then like trying to create these shitty sentences that mean nothing to me, and I just didn't feel the connection to it. But I would also watch movies that are in Spanish and read the subtitles, or I would listen to music in Spanish to get it going as well. But at the same time, I'm still trying to do work, and now the work that I'm doing is in English. And that really was slowing down because of me trying to put all my focus on Spanish, which was like really, I mean, it was just really horrible. I was just really unhappy. I still, 3 weeks later, can't really carry a sentence because everything that I say is in present tense. It's like, great, that's great. You know, I can make my way everywhere, but I can't actually create a story where it's like, you know, this was my life and this is what I used to do and this is my dreams and aspirations. Can't do it. I can't do that if I don't know past and future. If I'm just sticking around in the present, it's like, that's fantastic. Now, I think philosophically, if I'm talking the way I'm talking, like spiritually, it's like, wow, talking about being in the present moment fucking sucks. It really does. To only be able to speak in the present tense, in the present moment. You know, it's so limiting as well. I think I know that like when one is doing meditation, one is not supposed to think about the past or think about the future, for sure. Can you imagine like not only thinking about it, not only not thinking about it in the meditation, but not being able to speak about your past and your future and just be in the present of where you're going and what you are doing right now and what they are doing and what we are doing and what you are doing right now at this moment? The conversation becomes really stale. And yeah. So I was also going out at night sometimes. There's a lot that made me realize, like, I don't know if I even like this culture so much. I need to actually find a local. I think that's the other thing that got me going, really got me thinking that I thought that my teacher was local, like from Mexico, but he's from Argentina. And he's been here a couple of years, but still. I've only met one person, two people, I think, that are really from Mexico, and I still haven't really gotten to the culture, and one can only take so many tacos and tequila. It's like, okay, so what else is there? Because everybody in the world knows tacos and everybody in the world knows tequila, and there's like mezcal, and it's like, okay, so like everything is like what, alcohol based, and then there's salsa and there's reggaeton. How do they say it? Perea? When one goes down, and it's sort of like twerking, but not like twerking, but basically it's bumping and grinding. For someone who, like me, who really does not like hip hop and this bumping and grinding and this twerking and ass shaking, like I think it's just gross. I really do think that it's gross. I cannot stand it. I can't. And I don't know if that's just me really showing my age. I just think it's just disgusting. Like, does one really have to show our asses like this all the damn time in a song, and then get upset when a guy like touches your ass and bumps and grinds next to you? Okay, some girls like fucking love it, you know, like, it's, when is this the kind of, is this who we've become? I actually saw that on TikTok. It's like, is this who we've become? We've become just ass shaking, like pushing our asses off and like down to the floor and back up again and seeing where it jiggles. It's like, really? Like, do we need to be talking about tits and ass all the fucking time? Now, I mean, I've talked to some locals and they're like, look, reggaeton is not just about that. There are other things, and there are other contexts. But the tune, the beat ends up being the same. But then I was talking to another friend of mine, and she was like, yeah, but it's the same with electronic music. The beat ends up being the same, and it just starts to sound the same, and that's fair. So I can't really argue. But this chick right here can only take so much reggaeton, and can only take so much bumping and grinding. It takes about 5 minutes when I start to really feel like I need to leave, like right now. So yeah, that didn't work out so well. Yesterday I was like thinking, do I even like this culture? The Spanish teacher asked me on the very first day to find out what's my motivation, what's my purpose, and I nearly cried. It's like, not even like, what's my purpose for learning Spanish? Like, I need to know my purpose and I need to know my motivation. It's like, I can barely figure out like what my purpose is in life already, and I have to figure out like what my purpose is in learning Spanish. Like, oh my God. And what's my motivation? Like, what's my motivation on waking up every morning? Like, I can just about barely get that straight on a daily basis, and I have to figure out what my motivation is for learning Spanish. So I revisited all those thoughts yesterday, and thought, wow, I thought I was doing really well because I've been still in my psychotherapy sessions. I may not be taking my Concerta every single day because I don't really want to. I don't feel like I need to push myself every single day, and I've been trying at least with coffee, which is actually probably worse. So I thought about it, and I thought, why am I learning Spanish? Well, because I'm here, and because my mother is South American, so like, I kind of feel like I'm obligated and like I should know. And I studied it, and I was with my grandmother for 3 months in 2006, and then I was 3 months in Brazil, and then 6 months in Bogota. I was in Bogota. I was in a national university learning Spanish there for 6 months. I just need to kind of, kick-start it again. And I can't imagine it's that hard. But it was. It really was hard. And I don't know, like I was trying to tell the teacher, I really would love to just, recommend me some good movies or music so that I get to listen and stuff. And I only got like 2 movies from him, no music whatsoever. And we were just learning, I mean, it's basic stuff, which was great. I don't know. I just fucking hated it. And then I just lost the purpose. Like, what was my purpose? Like, I just, like, the minute that the class is over and then having to do all that homework, the last thing I want to do is speak Spanish. The last thing. It made me feel sick. And I came back, and what made me feel like I was in this hurricane as well, the going down, was like, here I am spending so much time trying to think of like things in Spanish and sentences and all this homework that I was supposed to do, that I have absolutely no energy at all to do anything else like my work. And so I have been putting it off for, 2 weeks now? Like, understandably, the first week I wasn't going to do anything and I needed a break, but 2 weeks have gone by and I haven't done shit. And I feel really bad. And like, you know, like I've been spending money, and I feel like guilty about spending money, going to those coffee shops, which I stopped after a week. But then I try like, okay, let's go to like vegan places and eat the food. And I'm like, I can't. Again, like all this like tacos and breads and stuff, I just get so bored of them. Like, there's no flavor in the food because I'm Malaysian and I'm so used to actually having more flavor than that. So I end up cooking a lot. So then, like, the only time I'm actually going to go out is I end up at the beach, and I'll show you videos at the beach. I'll put it in here somewhere, which is gorgeous. And then it starts to rain, and then when it rains, everything is wet all the damn time. They have these rivers that have been converted into roads, and they cut like in between the towns sometimes, like, which is really bizarre. And so these roads are never dry because it used to be a river, says some of the locals. Like, what? This doesn't make sense. I love some of the live bands here. They're really good. I have to say, I actually really do like some of the bands here. And one can only do so much salsa as well. I kind of like salsa. That's not too bad. But I haven't gotten to understanding the history of Sayulita, or understanding the culture, and really like falling in love with the people, if anything, because this place is like Bali, and there's a lot of the locals are just kind of, they come into the town from, I'm not sure where, I'm assuming they're just from the surrounding neighborhood, so that's probably the reason why they come in. I go for a jog wherever is not so cobblestone, because the majority of the town is cobblestone, and wet. And so I go to areas that are flat, and entering Sayulita is a little bit more flat. So I see all these people come in, and they just, it's just their job. They come in and they offer whatever it is, food to the tourists and all that. And I went to this cafe called Anchor Cafe, and just from the girl's voice, like just from her face, like I came in, this was my first week here, and I heard so much about this place, like the Wi-Fi is good, the food is good, the coffee is good. So I went, and it's true, it wasn't so bad. But when I tried to speak to the girl, and I was kind of stuttering, and like my Spanish was not so good, and then saying it in English, she just had this look of like, and I couldn't even say like, well, is that the bathroom? And she's like, yeah, it's occupied. And I'm like, okay, you obviously are jaded. So then I end up like not really going anywhere, because I kind of feel like everybody's just not that interested. It's just like, you're just another foreigner. I am just another foreigner, and I'm stuttering and not doing well with my Spanish, but forgive me. And then just feeling even more insecure because of that. Because like I'm not making a full sentence properly, and I'm just like trying to create the sentence in my head and taking a long time, and they don't seem to have the patience for it. It makes me even more shut down, and so I end up just not speaking at all. And I just don't really, I don't know. And then, okay, so then there's my area, which is really nice. I am so grateful, which is another reason why this has taken so long for me to actually post this up. But I used to have a crazy person living next door, like absolutely fucking insane. So in the daytime, don't hear it all, but in the nighttime, it's like she turns like some sort of werewolf, I'm just assuming that she's bipolar here, okay? And she's angry majority of the time. Whoever her friend is downstairs, I'm not sure the connection, she'll be like banging on the door saying like, you motherfucker, like, I'm going to break the window down if you don't open this door. So she's moved upstairs, which means that I can actually have opened the space. Like, I usually have this door open and the windows open, and so now I can have the space and actually speak and not be freaked out whether she's going to hear me or not, or like bang on my door. But and so self-centered, and I don't know if she realizes how self-centered it is. Like, she can really suck up energy. I did have one conversation with her and another neighbor, like next door here, and apparently she, like, she's a massage therapist, but like does not believe in spirituality, and doesn't believe in energies and all that, and she's all about the anatomy and all about like the physical, and I'm just like, I don't have energy for the shits. I just don't. So like, I just become my very Asian quiet self and just go like, okay, I'm gonna just end today because I'm gonna wake up in the morning and do some yoga, whatever. So anyway, so she's also moved, so I don't have to worry about that either. Yeah, yesterday was just me reevaluating everything and thinking like, there's so much I don't need or want to do. Like, I don't want to do these Spanish classes if both me and the teacher hate it. Like, I'm pretty sure he was getting upset because I was just not a happy person. Like, I barely made a sentence to speak. Like, I was doing all the homework, but I barely made a sentence, and like, he would ask me to make an example like right there and then, and I'm like, really, make an example like right now? And I'll just look into space, and then sometimes I just get super confused at the words that I'm using, because some of the words because I automatically go from English to Malay, so it's like, no, wait, that's not a Spanish word, that's a Malay word, try again, Elizabeth. And I just zone out for ages, and I know that he was getting like super impatient with me. I don't know if it's like all in my head too. Like, I'm actually going to get like super emotional right now just thinking about it. I actually do feel bad. I feel very bad, like very embarrassed that, like, I felt like I was wasting his time and I wasn't trying hard enough, which I know is a thing. Oh my God, am I going to like cry? Like, am I going to get emotional right now? Jesus, like, what is this? Yeah, so like, I was feeling very much ashamed at like my progress not being as good as I wish it could be, and feeling that he was just getting annoyed. So of course I quit like totally last minute, and I have 10 more days left, and I asked like if I could get refunded, and he's like, no, because I worked so hard to create the homework, but I'll give you all the payment in homework. And I'm like, yeah, sure, dude, whatever, I don't care. I feel like both you and I knew that it sucked, but okay. Like, I told him even, like, that, like, he asked me, how are you? And I'm like, I'm just depressed. And he said, don't say that, because, like, when you have depression, it means, like, you have it. Like, you can't say that. And I'm like, okay. Your girlfriend's a yoga teacher? Yeah, okay, kid. Anyway, so it didn't really work out, and I'm glad that we ended that, because I think it really wasn't good for me. So yeah, to the point like I was actually getting emotional right now. Shit. Maybe I haven't found the right teacher. I think maybe that's really what it is. I haven't found the right teacher who I feel can, I don't know, like, I just feel like our vibe didn't work out. He was very sweet and very friendly. It's not that. It was just, I just didn't feel like we jived. That really was it. We just didn't jive. I didn't feel like I was having a good time at all. Yeah. Anyway, So moving on, I applied for my Canada visa, the Canadian visa, because I want to go and visit family in Canada. But if I were to do it here and have it processed here, which is pretty much impossible, it would take 173 days. So I think it's actually better for me to go back to the States and do it. So I think I'm going to go back to the States. And at the same time, I think it would be better for me to go and try to make a little bit of money. I say that, but I can actually already make money now if I actually put some effort into it. I mean, I do card readings. You see my card readings, whoever's following. I'm like on TikTok. I can actually just offer, but I end up putting other things first instead of what I should be doing. Like just secure that first. So I mean, I've been all over the place. If you've been listening to me for 28 minutes and 22 seconds, I've been all over the place. So I'm just stabilizing now. Took my Concerta, went for a run, went for some Qigong, came back and decided I wanted to make this video to just update everybody who is following me. And actually, but I'm on Facebook again. That's for another time. So yeah, and just get my life back on track again. And I realized that I cannot do it if I'm learning this brand new language and spending so much time on it, because it really does take so much energy. It made me realize how much energy I have and how much energy I use and how tired I become, and I need to take breaks, which is something that I've been working with my psychotherapist on. Last week was the first time we weren't talking about some past trauma, but talking about my ADHD and how I really need to take breaks, because I just go, but I'm all over the place. It's not like I'm hyper focused on one thing. I'm hyper focused on so many things at the same time that I just seem like it's totally scattered. I want to just say thank you for listening to all that shit for a good half an hour. And I don't know when's the next time. I do want to make a video with a card reading on Sunday, maybe even tomorrow. I don't really think I'm going to be out clubbing as much as I did, because last weekend I was a little bit disappointed. I love electronic music, but I just can't deal with just the people. I think I need to redirect my attention elsewhere, which would be for me. And instead of just resting and chilling and just being forever hours on TikTok, wasting time, I think it needs to be useful, but it needs to be fun at the same time. So I'm getting there, everybody. I'm getting there. So here's where I am. I'll let you know what's going to happen. I'll keep you posted. But again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.